The hot open, cold
The
open.
hot open, yeah. Cold open.
It's a pretty cold hot open.
I'll tell you what I've been doing on
Ice
the
cold hot open.
YouTube surveys before most videos. You know.
That's a thing? I didn't know that was a...
Yeah, well, because you pay for like the YouTube Red or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm premium.
so,
I never see an ad on YouTube.
Yeah, so I'm still a fucking pleb when it comes to that. So I get all these like YouTube surveys, and they're like, which one of these products have you heard of? And they give you like 4, and it'll be like brands of cars, or like what TV show have you watched, or would you plan on watching? And then there's always 4 options, and then there's always none of the above, and just everyone I'm just like, fuck you, fuck your survey, none of the above.
None of this, none of that.
Yeah, none of that. I ain't doing shit, man.
You guys, on that note, if you didn't already realize...
Yeah!
Yeah! That's right.
Welcome.
It's Greasy Conversation. Today is actually our 100th episode.
Yeah!
Episode 100. I didn't even realize till we were heading over here because it's not an anniversary we usually celebrate. We're going to make a lot bigger celebration for episode 128 because we only celebrate hexadecimal anniversaries here. So 256 will be a big deal. You're going to have a 1024. That's going to be a big episode.
Oh, yeah, that's the real milestone right there.
Not only that, but before I forget, next week we're Saturday at 9. Saturday 9 Live. Saturday 9 Live. It's not Fridays at 5 anymore. It's Saturday 9 Live.
Officially changing times.
Officially. But now it's time for the Submarine of Knowledge. Submarine of Knowledge.
Submarine of knowledge.
And it's true, we've got a really special episode 100 here today. And everything is changing next week. New logo, teaser, spoiler alert. Some of you actually helped vote on the new logo. Thank you to you voters. And then also new time slot. And you heard about that.
New time slot.
What else? No, just those 2 things.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
Same old rest of that.
All right. So I got to start off with this one because it's just too good.
Yeah.
And this headline is primo. Whoever came up with this headline is brilliant. Catering cart causes chaos at Chicago airport, but American Airlines employee saves the day.
This is the craziest. I loved all that alliteration on that.
Yeah, it's great. But it's just the story of someone. I guess someone was like driving around with those catering carts to an airplane to like load it up with the shitty meals you get on the flights.
You can tell it's like an old golf cart.
Yeah. It looks just like an old golf cart with this just all this extra compartments to hold those food trays in there. And somehow the accelerator got stuck, and apparently the person driving it bailed.
This action is so crazy.
And then it got like, but it got locked so that it was going in a circle. But it was just...
It's doing donuts backwards. The front wheels are barely hanging in there.
Oh, yeah.
There's doors hanging off this thing that... what I don't get is that guy to the right with the plane. There's this rack thing on the top of that, and it almost slices his belly open like a velociraptor, like twice.
Oh, man.
And he still, like, stands all close, all unfazed. He even walks away all chill, like, oh, it's handled. And what handles it is one of those tugs, one of those airplane pusherinos.
Oh, yeah,
I refer to them. Something like that. I don't know if it was actually an airplane push-out. Got in the way. The thing was like feet away from smacking into an airplane, a big airplane, like a not cheap airplane, and someone drives their doodle in the way of it that's a way tougher. Well, you know, those stuff that pushes the planes around, they look all armored and such. One of those got rolled in the way, and this golf cart wussy thing just keeled over.
Yeah, but they talk about like there were people in at one of the gates, like a bunch of workers just like watching it. Everyone's just like watching it, kind of enthralled. And then after they finally stop it, everyone like celebrates and has a huge, breaks out in applause and everything. So just kind of a funny scene.
And I can understand people gathering around and watching it, but why are they so close? I'd start a new policy to remind workers not to stand near rogue vehicles.
Yeah.
There's no one piloting that, and you still want to stand that close? What do you think you're going to jump in? That guy didn't look poised to jump in.
No, you're not going to be a hero, dude.
He looked like he didn't understand danger.
Yeah.
He just didn't even get that this thing wasn't soft.
This is like one of the... I know, like, in everyone's head, And that goes for me too. In our heads, we're all heroes and we can all save the day, but that's just not how the world works. And that's not how rogue vehicles work.
No, this thing looks hella not soft.
Right? Like we're not Jason Statham in one of those movies where he can just like jump into a car moving at 50 miles an hour and drop kick someone and then drive the car off a ramp and land it. You know, it's never gonna happen.
Or like Kirby's Dream Land, where you're just gonna vacuum it into your mouth and spit out a star.
And turn into a golf cart. Yeah. I'm a golf cart now.
I have golf cart powers.
Dude, Kirby's Dream Land though.
Yeah.
Legit.
That's my disillusion of reality.
All right. What do we got next? All right. This thing, man. This fucking harpy eagle.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, so this isn't... It's just something that, you know, sometimes animals come across that you don't really know about or maybe you've heard about and you never really realize how gnarly they are. All right, so there's this thing called a harpy eagle. And it looks kind of crazy. What'd you say it looked like? Well, like a flying bear, so like a bear eagle?
Yeah, it looks like a flying bear, especially when it gets more bear-like. Wait for it. One of these looked like the head of a bear on a bird.
Yeah, like some angles it does. The head looks like a bear, but they have this like crazy plumage on their heads, all these crazy feathers. Just want to go over some of these numbers with the good folks at home. All right. So
yeah, this is where this eagle situation gets crazy.
So they can be anywhere from 35 to 41 inches tall. So what is that, like three and change to almost 4 feet? Yeah, something like
4-foot eagle.
Yo, right? Can weigh up to 20 pounds. Well, that's the female can weigh up to 20 pounds. The males can weigh up to 12 pounds.
Like your maximum carry-on luggage could be this bird.
Yeah. And the wingspan, though, 5.9 to 7.4 feet.
Yeah.
Like, that's gnarly.
Like a car of wingspan.
Yeah. Like, taller than most people on average. So, and then 5-inch
like
talons.
A whole roadway. 5-inch talons.
Dude, this thing is going to wreck your fucking dreams, man. Like,
each toe has like one of those knives you're not allowed to take to school.
Yeah, right? Like, shit. This motherfucker ain't boarding no planes. That's for damn sure.
Wait, I just dated myself in that, like, I talked about when you could bring a knife to school under a certain length, and it was like, just thought of like a tool or something.
Yeah, you could have like a pocket knife.
Yeah, people shanking people with like a 1-inch knife.
That was probably before like Columbine. I imagine like after Columbine, they shut everything. They shut trench coats down. So yeah, of course they shut pocket knives down.
Yeah, we were sophomores when
Yeah,
Columbine happened.
I remember that.
That was a trip.
And then they were trying to ban trench coats. So then some kids in our school were like, "Fuck that!" Like they just wore trench coats anyway because they're those kind of people, you know.
Yeah, there's people already actively trench coating it. There were chill people.
Yeah, and so they were like, "Fuck that! You can't tell us we can't wear trench coats." And they're like, "Trench coat mafia."
Yeah. So your school had a trench coat mafia too?
Yeah.
It's just they made it cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't turn this into a banning stuff situation, or you're gonna make it like accidentally coolify it worse.
Right.
I don't know if I showed the spinning cart mayhem full screen, so that's happening while we talk a little bit of bonus cart. Oh, and there's the tug. Slammed. It's not a tug, I'm sorry, but I don't know what it is, so it's fun to say tug.
It's a land tug.
The tug of the land. Anyhow, you can carry on with your real plans.
All right.
Oh, by the way. There we go.
That's a perfect one. All right, so this is pretty cool. Because they've been doing scientists have been doing some experiments with controlling robotic limbs with electrodes attached to a person's mind or attached to their head.
Yeah,
by
I've been
reading
following
brainwaves,
that.
right?
That's so great. Yeah.
And they've been doing that for a while. There's some really cool ones, like some of the very early ones. They did it with monkeys, and they had a robotic arm, and they had the monkey like in a chair, and that was secured, so he couldn't just like jump all over the place, obviously. And there was like a bowl of food in reach of the robotic arm. And so the monkey had to learn to control the robotic arm with its mind to pick up food and bring it to its mouth.
Yeah.
And the monkey learned how to do that shit. Just on its own. It figured it out.
super historic. That wasn't even very long ago.
Yeah, it was like a couple years ago. But they've been making, there's a lot of, like with prosthetics and stuff, a lot of technological advancements. So this one is pretty incredible because this dude, I think he's the first one. He's paralyzed and was able to control an exoskeleton suit to walk across the room.
Oh, dang, I got to pull this up. What am I
Yeah,
doing? Just
'cause it's
listening
gnarly.
and fantasizing? Suit?
Yeah, so for anyone who's just listening and can't see us, it's
How do I search for this one? I forgot how to spell paralyzed. Here, I'm back in the game. Get ready. Is that what it says? What's this article say on? Hey, you guys, listen at home.
Yeah, it's from BBC.
Check this out. You can go to greasyconversation.com or click on a link nearby where you're watching this. And if you find this episode, it's going to be the first post. We link our show notes. So this is the first time checking this out. It's really fun to see our links and pop into these places yourself. And there's always Easter eggs that we leave in there and stuff that we didn't cover. So you can dive with us, and it's awesome. Man, this is a friendly-looking fella. I like this guy.
Yeah, so for anyone just listening, it's an exoskeleton suit. It looks kind of futuristic, but it's got a huge backpack to, power the suit, and then segments that go on the outside of your legs on each side, your upper and lower legs, and then same for the arms.
Yeah, his arm looks kind of like a satellite, like a part of something that would NASA around.
Yeah, totally. And
or
then
like that Bjork video, All Is Full of Love.
Yeah.
Media recommendation.
And then there's a little headset, and then he has these groups of electrodes that are on different parts of his brain. I think there's 4 total that are attached to his head.
The headset's pretty low key. It looks kind of like just a
Yeah.
thin black, like if Sony made a sweatband.
And and that's it. And then he just had to learn to control this thing.
Dang, these chips that go against the top of the brain, though. It's crazy. That's got to be the most throwaway part of the brain, too, like the outer crust. You probably need that the least.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Are these actually like implanted in? Oh, yeah, it is.
This
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's just, that's such a
Okay.
distance between those electrodes. Your brain really has to do some routing to get that going.
But that's the cool thing is that
That it can do that
brains
at all.
are really good at doing that. Like just changing itself up to do what it needs to do to figure shit out. Like if it's like, oh, this is how I walk now. Okay.
Yeah, like those things that a blind person can put on their tongue now.
Yeah.
And
It has
it,
like a camera attached to it.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
like pixels onto their tongue, and they start to get used to seeing the image that way.
Yeah. Then they start seeing through the part of their brain that like processes taste instead. Like it reroutes itself to like the visual cortex or something. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
But your brain can just do that with like almost any part of the brain if it's like certain kind of damage will prevent that or like enough damage. But I mean, our brains are pretty resilient actually.
That's so magical to me.
So, but imagine like in the future, like, I mean, we already have like drone warfare. We're not even going to have like people warfare. We're just going to have like robots that people pilot like from a place, from like a warehouse or something. Like soldiers just pilot, they put on these helmets and they're like walking around little army robots.
And then
that's
that'll
war.
be like a financial warfare in that case.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause it's just who's got the most resources and technology.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I think maybe the natural conclusion to that, like to solid state it more, might be to have this take place in a simulation, and then in my opinion, that simulation starts to look like financial markets. So what if trade wars are a step beyond robot wars, and we're ahead of the game? Or what if trade wars are just a total silly lack of communication? What do you guys think? Holla on that.
Yeah,
and then
total-
you chat it up if you want.
Yeah.
Comments.
Ineffective.
Like,
Text.
bust a like and subscribe. Man, I never asked you guys to subscribe. And you should. And subscribe to the RadioVegas.Rocks YouTube. That's a thing too. Radio Vegas Rocks, all one word. We simulcast there. And tell a friend. More than anything, even if you don't want to admit to the public that you're into this, I feel like we're already blowing your mind. This is a killer mind blow, episode 100. So tell a buddy, pull someone aside and say, I've got something to show you.
Right. Or pets. Pets fucking love this show, man.
A misbehaving pet will succumb to your will after
true.
just 4 or 5 episodes.
All right. This is, we got to have our weekly Florida Man news,
Oh yeah.
obviously. So this dude just I guess got into an argument with his girlfriend and started just like bombing her with sweet and sour sauce packets from McDonald's because he was angry that she had bought the wrong food from McDonald's.
You might think, oh, what are these packets going to do? But if you've been to McDonald's, their sweet and sour packets have sharp plastic corners. No kidding. You could make minor paper cuts to someone with that.
Yeah, well, and it's like harder plastic too, I mean, it's not going to like crumble. It's not just going to bounce off you.
He's got sweet eyes.
Oh, yeah.
He
but
looks
that
like
beard,
he didn't mean it. Like he looks like the most violent thing he's ever done.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. That beard says otherwise, buddy.
You think that's the beard of a killer?
Not a killer, but someone who definitely decides that it's okay to throw sweet and sour sauce packets at someone because they got the wrong food.
Yeah, but it's his... man, I shouldn't say this, but I feel like if it's someone you have a close relation with, like in this case his girlfriend, it's not... it seems like a more appropriate situation to throw food.
Yeah, I mean, food, like, it's
It
like...
seems less like it's insulting in a way that's more like... it's not like a stranger is getting just all of a sudden stuff thrown at them. There's a history here.
Yeah, totally. Like, okay, if I order a 10-piece chicken nuggets and she comes home with a McRib, she's getting barbecue sauce on her face. All right,
sauce her up.
That's acceptable.
I mean, I should expect the same.
It's not going to be like violent.
No.
But you deserve a little McRib barbecue sauce on your face for that, right? It's not even remotely the same thing. Not close. I mean, well.
I mean, if she came at me with a little sauce in the fingers and a little slap to the face, a little saucy slap, I'd feel like I had it coming.
I mean, hold on. So I just said they aren't really close to the same thing, but how close are the McRib and McNuggets?
Oh,
really?
Dang, good point. Good point.
Right? Like, both just processed meat, formed into a shape. And then, yeah. I mean, it could be the same meat. We don't know.
I think we talked about it before, but did you know that why the McRib is seasonal? It's not like a marketing ploy.
I guess if they had it, like, year-round, it would just, like, wipe out the pig population.
Yeah, we don't have the farm infrastructure. And
that's nutty, man.
Also, people would lose interest and gain interest in managing that, like a supply chain that could flex with that on that scales. Like,
oh man,
not until we get vat pigs, you guys. Who was I talking to about vat veal? Maybe it was Jay last episode, but I think vat veal is a killer way to market. See, someone was on Joe Rogan talking about vat meat months ago, and this was a professional, and she was actually saying not to call it vat meat. That's going to make people not trust it. And I totally forgot what she said to call it because it was less marketable. And I feel like if we have all these people making the cozy, friendly marketed meat, you're not going to get, and by vat meat, I mean meat grown without a soul. It's just proteins and muscle grown like
in a lab.
Exactly.
It's like 3D printed meat.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Basically, and so there's no consciousness that perished to make it. I feel like that's a future that we're gonna have, and there's gonna be like cool branded versions that are like, oh, if we can't make it taste as good or as realistic as this other brand, we're gonna make a brand that's just better. People just like it more. We'll simulate something exotic like veal. Most of you haven't had veal. We're going to simulate this veal, and if it doesn't taste exactly like veal, it's because it's better. It's vat veal. It's the best veal. Have you had Kobe veal? Have you had massaged, amazing fantasy veal? So you can't ever complain that the taste of this vat meat isn't as good because it's different and therefore better.
Yo, you ever had 0G quadruple massaged Wagyu?
What's a Wagyu?
Wagyu beef? It's like some like rare Japanese beef, I think. They only make, it's like 500 cows a year or something ridiculous. That's really expensive.
Vat Harpy Eagle.
Or maybe I'm thinking of like Kobe. I don't know. Kobe beef.
Definitely. I was thinking that how many different variations of Kobe beef have most people had? you're not going to be like, oh, this doesn't taste like the real thing. It's because it's better. You've never had more than this simulation of
And
the
the
real
thing,
thing.
and like
level.
someone will just think that. And the thing about our brains, like, we think we know those things, but we really aren't good at like telling the difference about things.
For sure.
Like when we do have like good passable vat meat, and you did a blind taste test with almost anyone, no one's gonna be able to tell the difference. Guarantee
No.
you.
Actually, I think that some people will be able to tell and that they'll prefer it. That'll have
Yeah.
traits that are more, because I think they're going to focus group it to death
yeah.
to where it'll be like Frito-Lay products where most people are like, all right, I can't hate that.
Right. Well, it's like those things are so true, and it's just funny once you get into like like actual experiments about just like blind taste tests. Even like wine sommeliers like can't. Some can. Don't get me wrong. Some can, but some also, or you can trick wine sommeliers by putting like cheap wine in an expensive bottle. And
It's been done like crazy.
Yeah, and some are really good, and they know their shit, and they just have like an eidetic memory and can just know like every small vineyard in Italy and every detail about it. But most of them are just like you can fool them.
Yeah, and I think that underneath, most people just like candy. So like a sugary wine is going to be delicious.
Yeah.
So if it's got sugar and fruit flavors to it, like a lot of the cheap ones do, they'll be like, Boone's Farm, #1.
The MD 2020 peaches and cream.
That peaches and cream tip, though. Holler, you guys, if you're on that.
Oh man,
Peaches.
dude. But you could get, man, just all. I mean, you could have just like pre-pepper flavored beef, man, like a
Yeah,
black
pre-pepper
pepper
it.
steak. That'd be delicious.
Grow the pepper. Okay, we got to toss one more in before the Bob Thorntons, because I feel like I'm wallowing in my mouth.
I know.
Enjoyment.
Well, I'm so all about the
Yeah, I
all
could talk
about
about
them.
vat meat for a minute.
yeah, all day. All right, so dude did that. That's some deep news. All right, hold on. Just give me a second here, man.
Oh, that's okay. I'm looking at pictures that related to past topics while you peruse.
Oh, all right. Here's a cool one.
Done with
All
this
right,
eagle.
so scientists have started bioengineering bacteria that pump out psilocybin.
What?
Yeah, dude. So
psilocybin, if you're not already aware, folks, that's the psychoactive ingredient in magic mushrooms.
yeah. So they've managed to transfer the DNA sequences responsible for psilocybin production from a mushroom into a microbe host of a strain of E. coli. And it produces...
I cannot find articles on our notes
Yeah.
today.
Well, because all my like titles are like not related to it. It's just like some tangential thought I had about it that doesn't like include anything about the article in the title. So
But they're often funny, and I recommend checking them out, everybody. Dig into our news notes. We have no analytics on it, so I don't even know if like thousands of people are looking at them or not. I need to analytic that up, but it's like a special treat between us and you folks in the community. So I didn't feel like I needed to analytic it up too bad because it's our thing together.
So, and it seems they're like really increasing the speed at which the production happens. So it started with just a few milligrams per liter of the bacteria, and now it's up to a gram per liter, which isn't like a ton, but it's a lot more than a milligram. And they hope to get it up to, what was it, 1.16 grams per liter.
What's funny is that is this better than just harvesting mushrooms? I don't understand the advantage of this.
Maybe just to make it like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's easier to synthesize it from these, like just get pure psilocybin in the lab without having to have like space.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like more efficient as
it's
far
just-
as like space wise, and probably
Yeah.
maybe faster.
Being able to synthesize it at all is valuable.
Yeah, and so just like having to
Better
where you're
quality
not even
control.
you're not even really like synthesizing it. You're just like creating it in a different way and then collecting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably more efficient this way than to like have to like harvest mushrooms, which is probably slower than just like harvesting the bacteria, which will like turn around in 24 hours, 36 hours, or whatever.
Well, speaking of legal hallucinogens, didn't we just get legalized shoot, there's a bunch of psychoactive chemicals that were decriminalized.
In Oakland.
Oakland. All right, catching up
Yeah,
California.
so
Don't
they
let
have
Colorado have all the fun.
They've decriminalized DMT,
Here we go.
mescaline, and ibogaine.
I'm speechless.
Yeah, which is really pretty crazy, but
Finally, some safe chemicals to wean people off of alcohol and stimulants and meth and all this other street cheap stuff. When there's better things that could also be affordable and lead to like a transitional mind state that you can permanently grow from.
Yeah, I've been getting into or like researching ibogaine more. And for anyone who's not familiar, it's I can't remember the specifics, but it's touted to be able to really just like cut addiction, just like stop the addiction loop in someone's mind. Like it just gets in the middle of that and shuts it down. And even William S. Burroughs, who was a notorious junkie, he said that like he tried tons of shit during his life, and he said that ibogaine was the only thing that actually stopped that need in his mind, that just like the primal need for heroin. And that was the only thing. And it's fast acting and it's immediate and a lot of the times like permanent.
Yeah. And there's so much that can be done with hallucinogens for PTSD. There's been excellent trials on ketamine. And I feel like what person ketamine doesn't work for, they might do great with psilocybin. What people psilocybin might be too jarring for, can just ketamine it up, and it's as diversely effective as MAOIs or other things like that, like already being used for.
Yeah, and you're looking at something that isn't gonna be like an ongoing treatment. Like you're not gonna have to be on like.
Whoa, that's another big thing.
You're not gonna have
it.
to be on like Abilify for like the next 5 years. You know what I mean? If that even works. And that shit, like, man, I've seen Abilify like change people like to the core, where they're not the person they were before they started taking Abilify.
It's like a zombify.
Yeah, exactly. And but I mean, you do like a couple ketamine sessions, or you do a couple like guided, mushroom sessions or MDMA sessions, and like actually just do therapy with those tools, and you can enact like lasting changes in people.
And Big Pharma might be uninclined to support something that doesn't lead to continuous use, but I feel like this is so big and effectful that it's going to be marketable regardless.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I don't know. I think people are starting to catch on to like
Yeah,
the
people are going to do it
companies.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got to play along or lose in everything.
Well, and I feel like with just all the stuff coming out about like the opiates and how that a lot of these pharmaceutical companies like knew that they were addictive, and they misrepresented the research when they first released like OxyContin, which is arguably like the beginning of our current like opioid epidemic. Like they knew about it, so like who cares what they fucking say? Like I wouldn't trust them. Like, yeah, of course, like the drug dealer that sells heroin's gonna be like, oh no, you got to stay away from that stuff because I don't sell it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, that's a good point.
And on that note, I believe it's time to pay some Billy Bob Thorntons. Wait, do you have a commercial queued up?
If I were to get a hold of your smartphone there and somehow guess your passcode and open things up, of course, the first thing I would do would be to scroll through your photos. We want to see what's going on there. Then I would look through your history, just to get a better idea of who I'm dealing with. And then I would check your calendar to make sure you're planning on joining me live in Las Vegas for the first ever Host with the Most podcast live broadcast. I want to thank Jay and everybody at RadioVegas.Rocks for helping me set this up. It's going to be a party, man, and it's happening at the Golden Tiki in Las Vegas. The Golden Tiki is located at 3939 249 Spring Mountain Road. If you've been there before, you know this is the perfect place. I'm going to have some of my special Vegas performer friends stopping by, prizes you can win, and I want you to hop on the microphone with me. Let's get to know each other. Let's make it a party. The Golden Tiki in Las Vegas, Thursday, October 3rd from 2 to 4 p.m., our first ever live broadcast with the Host with the Most podcast. It is common knowledge that Radio Vegas rocks, right? Of course it rocks. That's why you tune in all the time. Great music, great shows, great personalities. But did you also know that Radio Vegas rocks also turns you on to great books? Like my books, Life in the Bonus Round, and The Host with the Most, Tales of a Tattooed Television Personality. I love sharing these stories with you here, these shows with you here on Radio Vegas Rocks. And I'd love for you to get to know more about me so that we can, in effect, know more about one another. My books are available on the merchandise page of my website, toddnewtononline.com. They are also available over on Amazon. Heck, they're even available in audiobook form. You can't beat it. I love the process of writing. I love the process of sharing and storytelling. That's what this show is all about. So please order your copy of Life in the Bonus Round or The Host with the Most today. 100% of the proceeds benefit charities. 100%. I don't keep a single penny. You and I, we're doing good things.
The thing is, that event might have happened yesterday, but it was still worth playing that commercial to remind you about Todd Newton, the host of the Most. He is the host that is killing it the hardest on this station because of his classic history and excellent hosting skills. So I can't say enough good about Todd Newton and the awesome event that we had yesterday. That is on Facebook video and also on YouTube at Radio Vegas Rocks, all one word. That's the YouTube channel. Bust to subscribe. That was a really fun episode. We had Vegas magicians on there. We had Anthony Cools talking about hypnotism and all kinds of rad inside baseball kind of Vegas radness. I can't give it enough credit for what a great episode it was to feel the spirit of our town and some professional hosting. And Golden Tiki is amazing. So it was a killer event. And I want to thank Golden Tiki, bonus and extra. Thanks for your patience. And on we go.
Hey, Radio Vegas Rocks listeners. It's your favorite troublemaker, Sober Sal from the Not Playing Stupid podcast. I'm headed to Summer Meltdown this weekend to partay. And do you think this degenerate has time to sober up or take a shower to that 4-day music festival? No, ain't gonna happen. The cool thing's out on YouTube. I got Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes aren't your typical ass wipes. Dude Wipes are made from plant-based fibers and are actually certified as flushable. Not only are Dude Wipes alcohol fragrance free, they're also lined with aloe and vitamin E to ensure your anus isn't so heinous. So go to dudeproducts.com and use checkout code SHARTWEEK and you receive additional 15% off your entire order.
Shart Week.
Someone has to take care of your ass. It might as well be you.
Come on, dude. Take it to the hole.
Wipe your dude.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-709-4389. 800-709-4389. 800-709-4389. That's 800-709-4389.
Ditch the debt. Ditch that debt.
Let's face it, every once in a while, we all need a little help. A call to the bullpen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, have I got a product for you. Rick Knucklecock here to tell you about an exciting new product called Spunk Lube. Yes, Spunk Lube, the all-water soluble lubricant that'll help you perform in the bedroom. Yes, Spunk Lube. You can use it to loosen pickle jars. Play a game of Hide the Pickle. Hide the pickle. Use it to grease your ball bearings. Do you have a squeaky back door? Squeaky door. Need to glaze a ham? Or how about frost a donut? Frosted donut. Yes, Spunk Lube. And boy, do I have an offer for you. If you call now and mention RadioVegas.rocks and order 3 jars of Spunk Lube, you get 2 for free. They often say 2's a crowd, but 3's a party. Spunk Lube. Visit us at spunklube.com.
That's the sound most people make when they leave Pinches Tacos. Why is that? Because Pinches Tacos prides themselves in making every location unique, but give every location the same feel. I'm not talking cookie cutters like those big chain restaurants. They blend into your neighborhood and create a place you want to call your second home. Their doors are always open. Well, at least until 11 o'clock. Their mission is simple. They provide you the best taco experience by using high quality meats and seafood, fresh garden vegetables, handmade tortillas, and high quality artisan breads. They could have made it complicated, but they chose not to. Why? Because they found through experience that keeping things simple is a good recipe for success and happiness. It's also a good recipe for a pretty tasty Pinches taco.
According to Spanish language Stack Exchange, we always use it as an insult enhancer and can turn almost any curse word into a really rude one. Pinche pendejo, pendeja equals asshole.
Now they have 6 locations, 2 right here in Las Vegas. Come in, find out why we love them so much. Check them out on Facebook or visit the website, pinchestacos.com, for a location nearest you.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows. Plus, podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
Behold, it's greasy conversation with Anna Gosteyer and Tim Meadows. No, really though, next week, Saturday 9 Live. Remember, Saturday 9 Live. 9 Live, Saturday.
Different from that other really shitty show that no one watches anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
No, seriously, it's one of my favorite shows, even when there's like an episode that's half skits that I didn't like. But when I do like one,
there's always a few
I like
gems.
it so hard.
Yeah, that it's worth it.
It makes it up to me.
Yeah.
And I fall in love with the people and the cast. And I mean, I haven't seen it in years. So
Yeah, I know.
what am I saying?
Let's be real.
Maybe it sucks now.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan, and I want you to know that whole thing is that we're changing our time slot. Our time slot is going to be Saturday 9 live. Saturday 9 at live PM. Yeah. The PM of the 9s.
Live.
And Saturday, and of course live still here on RadioVegas.rocks. Mark your calendars and change the existing marking that's in your calendar about us. Calendaring. You know.
Yeah,
you know
sorry if you have to go get a new calendar because of that.
Yeah, it's written all over with all this junk. Anyway.
Yeah.
Those are the steamy pipes of black hole discovery that we have to talk with you about now. Man, kudos to Greg and the journalism on this one, because we've got bonus black hole time. Also got the main article from Ange Kerfoot, who's always contributing tons of our news. That's the hidden third member of the show for sure. And, well, let me just get to it. What you're seeing on the screen is just the black hole. It's black hole time. But what if the mysterious Planet 9 that we've spoken about earlier, that supposedly is orbiting around the edge of our solar system, what is it, like Neptune kind of territory? Or
It'd have to be past that. I think it's past Pluto, right?
I think it's not. Yeah, I think it's not far from Pluto though, but it's something that supposedly is Pluto-sized.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I think it's bigger yet, but we can't see it. So we've been tripping because the way asteroids and stuff fly through our solar system, it seems that there's this planet out there that's affecting orbits, but we haven't been able to see light bounce off of it. And it appears to be really big. And we've been having a hard time trying to figure out why there could be something that's gravitationally that powerful, that far out there, and yet not large enough to at least cover stars, at least not see stars behind it. But if it's like a basketball-sized black hole, that could have the mass to be like a big planet.
Yeah, and it could totally have a massive mass like the size of Pluto. So, could be. But here's my thing, right? So
this is the wrong article. The other one had
as soon as they find something else, like they're like, oh, this is just gonna be Planet 9 now. I'm like, y'all just gonna disrespect Pluto like that?
Yeah, truthfully, I know Pluto's already the planet.
I know it's not a planet anymore, all right? And now there's some debate like, well, maybe it is a planet, is it? You know, whatever. It's word games to me.
Yeah, it's just language anyway.
So, but I'm like, you just gotta disrespect Pluto like that. Like, it can't be like the ninth formerly known as planet or something. Like, we can't give it that like prince, that honorary princeness.
I like that a lot. The planet formerly known as the ninth.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
That deserves a...
And then this thing should be the 10th planet. That's my gripe with the whole thing, right? They're just going to, like, for my whole childhood, most of my adult life, like, Pluto was the 9th planet, man. You're just going to go rip that away from everyone.
Yeah.
Just, like, replace it like a step planet.
If anything, it should be celebrated that we have another planetoid in the... I know there's another fella that's almost Pluto-sized in that territory that should be like considered Pluto's buddy in the planetoid territory.
It's like out there. It's near the Kuiper belt, I think, and it goes off like a really weird oblong orbit around the sun. So it's really weird, but it is about Pluto's size. I think it's like the same type of thing. It's just a giant icy rocky body that floats around out there in and out of the Kuiper belt.
Nice. Oh, here we go. We've got some graphics going on with this that man, kudos to Business Insider. They keep killing it with these articles that other publications have cheaped out on the details.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by Business. They have a lot of good science articles, actually.
Yeah, they've been killing it on that, and lots of detail on this one. Because I'm not throwing out too many numbers. This is a great thing to dive into because there's some crazy details in this, and we've got a lot to touch on. But I really recommend checking out the article we have linked up in the notes for this crazy, because it seems like it answers a lot of questions. So it's been driving me nuts that there's something there that's affecting gravity of things that we're not detecting otherwise. And as it says in this, it would be bowling ball size, and that would explain everything.
Right. Yeah. Or what if it's something else?
So glad that you said that.
Like, what if it's something we don't know nothing about? That would be even more rad. But I doubt that's the case.
Well, here, wait, talk quick. Did you? Oh, I see what happened. Haha. Sorry about that.
I just died for a second. Sorry, I had to.
I don't know why I'm apologizing for you unplugging your microphone.
Yeah, that's just how I roll.
That was a killer segue, though.
I'm gonna do the show without a mic.
Okay, real talk though. You were talking about how this black hole, and also what if all black holes aren't what we think a black hole is at all? What if there's something different entirely?
Yeah, and like I didn't dive into this article. I don't know.
I did.
Okay, lay it on me, man.
So check this out. This is another mystery that we've been unraveling for this whole 100 episodes. The whole history of this show, we've been scratching our chins and talking about where the heck the dark energy is coming from and what dark matter is, and why, in the case of dark energy, there's like 25% of the energy that's supposedly pushing the universe apart is unaccounted for. We don't know where this energy is or what it's made of or what particle affects it or what.
Yeah, like we just know it has to be there to make sense as far as we understand things, but we can't detect it.
So this whole article that I thought was going to be, what's this claptrap? Black holes as we know them may not exist.
Yeah.
What's there then? What's the thing? But the article right away is not saying that there's not something there. There may be something else. And this black hole alternative, as in something that still fits with the math but doesn't have a singularity per se, could be the source of this dark energy. And the numbers line up is the most exciting thing. According to this person, if we do the math right and don't try to justify things in it, not only do we see that dark energy, but we see this object that should have that accounted for in it.
That's interesting. And I mean, I guess most of when you're dealing with stuff like that and you can only really describe it in like metaphors that kind of half make sense, like quantum mechanics, how everyone's like, you know, the information we get about quantum mechanics, because we're not like physicists, is all like metaphorical, you know. But if you look at it, I mean, mathematically, you just have to trust the math, and you know, none of us are like qualified to fucking go over that. People spend their entire lives dealing with that shit, man, and like solving equations, and it doesn't seem you just have to trust it, because that's how math works, I guess.
It's killing me that I can't remember his name, but Joe Rogan recently had a guest talking about quantum mechanics and how we can wrap our heads around it, and people can understand it if they take the time, and that it's behind the nature of reality and what it is. And
I think
it's got a book I want to check out. That's a good way to look into that.
Yeah, I think I know which guy you're talking about. But yeah, anyway. But like even like chasing the math, like that's what led us to the theories of string theory, even though that's like not testable yet, if ever. But like mathematically it makes sense. You know what I mean? These guys who just do that for their entire lives are like, oh.
Sean Carroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that SEA and Sean. So, shout out, media recommendation. We're thick with them right now, folks. Got thick recommendations. But I highly recommend also, like, just breezing through this, what are these black holes article situation, because it's like the most mind-blowing thing that happened to me, not only all week, but on the level of the light photographed as a particle and a wave at the same time.
Yeah.
That was a historical episode too, I have to say.
Well, and it really, I like news like this because it, you know, a lot of us, or I don't want to say something like that, but I think humans in general, just because of where we are at with science, and maybe feel like our species has a handle on things as far as understanding the universe, but that could really not be the case. Like, we think we understand a lot about it, and we might, but there could be layers of shit out there that we haven't even like scraped the surface of, and like we don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we could not know jack. And so that it's good that we have things like this happen that remind us, like, oh, even like scientists who are trained to like try to be objective and experiment objectively, like we all have biases that creep into everything we do, and it's subconscious, and we can't like stop that. You know what I mean?
A perfect example of that is people talking about the electron as a point or a coordinate when that's only the way we perceive it because of the way we perceive time.
Mm-hmm.
When truly it is in all of these places on the wave function, or this kind of shell that looks bent up around the nucleus. It is in all those places at once, and it functions that way.
Yeah.
And you can't think about an atom as being full of empty space, because it's just the lens we look at it through.
Yeah, and it's really like a probability.
Yep, a probability
of where it's going to be, and then when something observes it, that probability like calculates, and then where you observe it at is where the highest point of probability was. But that's just like that
or
point.
You're most likely to observe it at the highest point of probability.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
And so some people think about this as it collapsing, but it also fits into the many worlds theory, where whenever there's a decision made like that, there is two separate states temporally on top of each other.
Or there's like a million different states where like there's like a million different versions of the same scientists, like each observing the electron at a different probability point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and you split it off the moment that's determined.
Yeah, like It's so like
Which
that.
you don't want to believe that. You want to believe that there's all those copies of you, but they're not copies per se.
Yeah.
They're all you at the same time, and it's just
yeah, it's kind of weird to think about, like, but it's like that episode of Futurama.
Yeah.
Where they had like the alternate reality box, where like the only difference was that the outcome of coin flips was the opposite in that reality. So all these different things that everyone based or used coin flips for decisions like changed everything. You know.
Such a good premise. There was a good Rick and Morty too that had that split up time.
Oh yeah. The time testicle. Time testicle, man. Yeah. Anyway, black holes aren't real. Nothing's real.
Whatever this thing black holes are instead, though, I hope we can still call it black holes anyway, just like new school black holes.
Yeah, I don't see why we shouldn't. Like, why
it
not?
Might not be a hole. It might not be perceivably black, but
all right. Yeah. What if it's not even? I mean, the whole name's a misnomer anyway. So
it's
like,
cultural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Celebrate our culture.
All right. All right. This
anyhow.
is.
Oh, those steamy pipes again.
Wait, I had one that. Oh, here we go.
Wait. Roll into it with this juicy number.
All right.
Wait, no, I did that one. Oh, it's a different steamy pipe, and this one kind of chugs at the end. That really ruined the suspense of it, like dictating it like that. All right, this is the 100th episode. I want the juiciest doodles. Come on, give it to me here.
Yeah.
Behold.
We got them juicy doodles. All right. So this is a story about hundreds of nuns, and that's why I picked this. Like before I read this, right? I was like, hundreds of nuns trained in kung fu are biking the Himalayas to oppose human trafficking. I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like Catholic nuns, like learned kung fu and are just like traveling around the Himalayas, like kicking human traffickers' asses. I was like, this is a Tarantino flick, yo. And I hope he makes this movie. Tarantino, make this fucking movie. But no, it turns out.
Do it.
These are nuns from a Buddhist sect known as the Drukpa Order.
This is so badass.
Yeah, and they just like travel around. They recently made a trek 4,000 kilometers, which is 2,485 miles from Kathmandu to the city of Leh in India. And they just go around like spreading awareness about human trafficking and warning people, and I hope kicking ass.
Oh, a lot of them, are they bald women too?
Yeah, they're all like Buddhist nuns.
Bald women are hot because they remind me of robots.
I concur. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And you can put on whatever hair you want later too. It's versatile.
Plus, like when you got the shaved head, man, that just feels great.
Yeah.
Giving or receiving on the shaved head, man.
Yeah, when a woman has a beautiful face and I can just like lick her bald head, it's like nothing like that. I want to do a bald like era when this action, when the forehead gets bigger to a certain point, and just like rub it on everything, rub it on furniture, and just like celebrate. I feel like a ballpoint pen.
I'm with you, man. I'm thinking about shaving my head again. I don't know if I'm gonna go there yet, though. But
yeah, we might be shavy buddies one day.
Yeah, I'm sure. So yeah, they're just badass
So
Buddhist
cool.
nuns, man. And yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's a good message. Like it's really crazy how like just widespread like human trafficking is.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
can't
not-
believe how under the
it's
rug it
not
used to be.
really. I mean, it is starting to get covered more, but like, it feels like it should be like one of the biggest stories we're talking about every fucking day.
Just what I was gonna say.
Like, it's that big and it's that pervasive across the globe.
It's like the most heinous thing going on that we're going to look back at this time in history and wonder why the hell any resources were spent dealing with the drug portions of these cartels and criminal organizations when this is going on.
Yeah.
This should be the number one focus exclusively. And with trafficking anything, this should be like, let all the drugs be trafficked if we can put a stop to some of this.
Right. And if like drugs were just decriminalized.
Yeah. It'd pull that whole resource away from them.
Yeah. And like we treated addiction like a medical issue or a psychiatric issue.
Yeah.
Like it is. Then but private prisons got to make profit, so here we are.
Well, that's why it's perfect timing to just put the homeless people in jail. Now,
yeah.
But the thing is, if we're going to talk about this for a second, I really want to talk about another side to this, and it might be wrong. What I'm about to say might be not how it's going to go and tragically incorrect, but I want to be hopeful that this idea of putting homeless people in jail, as awful as that sounds, if it gets some people on the system that aren't being seen by social workers, and people I know have had run-ins with getting in the system, and then that led to them in front of counselors and professionals that could talk therapy them up and get them turned around, basically, in some thought fallacies confused that get people hung up on being able to live life. It was just getting the right understanding to some things can make some breakthroughs that are permanent. And this takes professionals.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're not getting in front of the people that need them most. And then these people are just ending up racking up ER fees and disintegrating. And it's ridiculous. This is human lives that are getting neglected. But I also feel like there's a lot of big money that does not want to help the homeless, that would support jailing the homeless. And if we get the right social workers involved with that, then it could be a roundabout, badly marketed way, or maybe perfectly marketed to the people that are in power in this city, to actually treat these people. But we talk these powerful people into spending money on it by framing it in this awful way that we wouldn't like, but maybe they like it. They throw the money at it. These people really get in psychiatric systems and out of the jail system. It could be that way, but it's going to take some behind-the-scenes social workers doing the right thing under the wrong labels, and they might get a lot of opposition because these labels are awful. And that's not to say don't protest this if you have details that I don't have. And obviously this is not the best way to do this or the most honest way to do it. But if we can sneak money into something that's going to be a net good.
Yeah, and I feel like that is I mean, I'm kind of pessimistic about the system, and that is very optimistic. And that wasn't my original way of looking at it, but it's possible.
Nor anyone's way.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, but like I mean, it's just if that's what it takes. I mean, I guess that's what it takes. But like, the thing people don't realize and don't want to like admit or think, but I can't remember what the number is. I'll have to look up. It's got to be more than 50% of families, people in America are like 1 or 2 paychecks away from being in a similar position to where financial ruin.
And it's a trap. To get out of it is extremely difficult, and then it affects your mind. People that would otherwise be very sane, which is all of us, we're all very close to hallucinating. We're all very close to ending up in a cult that we would think is ridiculous at this point, but you get rescued in a weak moment by people acting supportive. It's the same thing. Things fall apart to a certain point, and your ability to recover falls apart.
Yeah. Or to like assess things
logically,
rationally.
Yeah, it's gone.
And like you don't think that because you're there, and you're that part of your brain that processes things that way is changed because you have to worry so much about all this extra shit that like people with more money don't have to worry about, and they don't recognize that. And it's hard to have that conversation because like it's hard to get out of poverty, man. Like it's really fucking hard.
Yeah, everything costs more when you have less money to spend on it because you can't deal with the economy of scale. You run into fees for not having money for things on time, and that sets you back further. And the people that are in the greatest positions to help overall in society have often never experienced this.
Yeah, whereas, so they don't realize it.
Yeah, these people that are working poor, people younger and trying to like get their stuff together can get these traps. I know I was on that couch surfing status of homeless for a minute, and when things were the hardest to work out financially is when I made the worst. I had the worst capability to make decisions and plan, and that's like a proven thing. I found out later.
Yeah, there's tons of studies that prove that. Yeah, it's a thing. Like being poor affects your brain and your ability to make like rational decisions.
Yeah, and a small amount of money to like just make sure that needs are kept handled makes it 1,000,000 times easier to approach an interview logically and be able to be together
Yang
enough
gang,
to
baby. Yang gang 2020.
For reals though, having been through so many things with people and myself in these lower classes and feeling like there's recovery available and possible, but the mind states are not this entitled thing, and then there's this other side with how do you deal with entitled people. But if you have something that just stabilizes things, it saves so much money, and medical
really does.
treatment and bills that people are going to have on their heads, and the community and the taxpayers are going to have to pay
They just
twice
get
as
passed
much.
on- Yeah.
Like if
Well-
each homeless person, the money that's spent on them by the government right now is close to what I live on.
Yeah, totally. It's
But they're
it's
not
enough.
living on it because it's not going to
It's,
them in the
it's
right
enough
ways.
to it's enough to like pay rent and food for each homeless person for each month for a year. The amount of money we spend on the homeless
But
each
instead
year.
it's spent on emergency room treatment for them after we've let things go too far.
Because people, it's a weird thing where like we don't think of like investment costs, where like people like welfare and like food stamps, right? People like bitch about that and like, oh, this, and it's like, well, actually it's a net benefit, and it actually produces more money. Like it produces more money for the economy than it takes out. So it's actually a net benefit.
Yeah.
To give people food stamps and welfare. Like it
And
works out.
Trust some people. Allow a couple people to rip it off if most people are going to not rip it off. I mean, that's how we get bank loans. That's how we
Right.
do so many things in society. We just keep a credit score. So
Right.
if they really become criminals, there's already a jail system for that. But if they don't even
Yeah.
have the chance to show us if they're criminals,
Unless you're
or-
a banker.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So,
Now, there's arguments to some of this, and I feel like if we're presenting this lefter than how you're viewing it, then I believe a balance is in the middle. And there,
Totally.
yeah, there's so many compromises that could be made on this that would benefit everyone. And I feel like I don't have to advocate an extreme on this.
I don't like. I feel I'm pretty extreme these days. I will
I've
shit.
been too, tragically.
I will shit all over capitalism all day, man. I'm not.
And yet we actively participate in capitalism
Yeah,
and value
and I
it
understand
for what
like
it's good
it's
for.
the system, and like we're not gonna overthrow it, and it's not gonna be utopia. I recognize that.
There are worse systems, though.
But I can still say it's shitty, and like we need a heavily regulated capitalism.
Yeah, there
is
needs
what
to
I
be
think.
a compromise.
Yeah.
And we've experimented with not regulating things. And what happened was we got the small government that we wanted as a nation, but instead we got big business as a pseudo government.
Yeah,
It's
and,
not the best alternative.
like legit.
It's harder to run that by the people.
Legit, like look into the concept of regulatory capture, and then look at the people who run all these government agencies who are supposed to be regulating those these areas of industry, and you'll see that the people who participated in these industries are now acting as the heads of these
Yeah.
agencies.
It's traditional, let alone.
And it's worse now than it's like ever been. It's pretty insane.
It's funny. That is worse. That part is worse. But fortunately, medical technology has never been better. There's never been more survivable cancers. But the lifespan in America is going down for the first time ever. And it's because of unhappiness. And it's because of not taking care of the lower middle class and the working poor. And the majority
Yeah.
is just getting left behind by too much obvious greed and complacency.
Yeah.
But it's reversible, and we're at a point that we're starting with more power and better communication as the masses, so to speak, than we've ever had. And there's a security level with that and a looking out for each other that we've never had before either. We've never been able to crack down on police corruption like we've been able to nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're really sweeping under some rugs. So I don't want to be all fatalistic with this. There's a lot to look forward to about the days ahead and where we're living right now.
Yeah, that's my job,
But-
was.
yeah, exactly. So if you like these balanced opinions coming back and forth and rebalancing or whatever, tell a friend. Greasy conversation. Next
Yeah.
season, set of situations. Okay,
No, I
I'm
think-
really excited about the upcoming episodes. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm beside
I
myself.
think now it's time to pay some Billy Crystals.
Yeah.
Who starred in City Slickers.
Kicker Audio.
So check it out, Mario. They hit me up, the guys from Kicker. They said, Jay, you have done a fantastic job promoting these headphones. And
They're awesome.
They're all over Facebook. You have tweeted them. We know that you love the headphones. But how come you haven't talked about this wireless Bluetooth bullfrog we have? And I said, well, to be honest with you, you never sent me one.
We haven't tested it.
Within 24 hours, there was one delivered to my house. So now, this is going to blow your mind, Mario. Listen. You're impressed. No dead space. Speakers on both sides. Isn't that awesome?
Very impressed.
It's Kicker Audio, everybody. You got to go there. Check them out online.
Kicker Audio. Living loud. Do you fear the dark? Do you fear the light? Are you afraid of what you've seen? Are you afraid of what you can't see?
What responses, you say you're testing it at the house, what responses did you get when you were testing it?
I mean, I've heard my full name, Chris's name, just direct replies to questions and stuff.
On World Ghost Radio, the paranormal, the spirits, the unexplainable, with your host Rocky on World Ghost Radio.
Gotta tell you about Rocky and World Ghost Radio real quick. Don't just sleep on this ad. If you think that shows about ghosts are just hooey and you're too scientific and atheist to have fun with that, take a step away for a second, because first of all, Rocky's a really cool dude, and second of all, I am skeptic and like overly sciencey to the max, and even I have to admit that we don't know what dark energy is. We don't know what dark matter is. Spooky things happen, and people are at the cusp of hallucination and confirmation bias of things in fascinating ways, however you want to look at it. And the way Rocky presents these things, he lets you think for yourself and enjoy where the questions are, where the mysteries are, where weird coincidences happen, so that even if you feel turned off by ghosty stuff, even if you think all ghosty stuff is baloney by default, you can still have a fun time with World Ghost Radio. It's a fun show for everybody. However you look at the guests, however you look at an experience, however you want to take it, you can take the ride and enjoy yourself. World Ghost Radio, way better than other paranormal crap out there. This is the good stuff. Check it out.
Is your butt a crudely built birdhouse?
No.
Then why are you sanding it with toilet paper? Dude wipes have aloe vera to protect your sensitive side.
See? Sensitive. Come on, dude, take it to the hole.
What is Jesse Ray's Barbecue? Well, it's a tiny, unassuming place with a modest menu of platters, sandwiches, and house-made sauces. Located at 5611 South Valley View. By the smell alone, you're gonna know you're in the right place. Come try the award-winning slow-smoked ribs, chicken, pulled pork, hot links, and brisket. The sauce is also something to talk about, as you will want to eat it with every bite. Here's a tip. Their sauces are available for purchase. When people ask you, how do you like Jesse Ray's Barbecue? You'll say, like most people I know, I don't like it, I love it. Jesse Ray's Barbecue is 100% legit. Stop on by for a meal that will satisfy your barbecue-loving lips. Mention RadioVegas.rocks for 10% off your order. Jesse Ray's, located at 5611 South Valley View on the corner of Valley View and Russell. Come in, take a bite, find out why they're so award-winning.
This is an urgent health notice for all residents suffering from back, neck, knee, and wrist pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you, but the deadline is fast approaching. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now.
You heard right. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace. These items may even be covered by Medicare or your private insurance. The Health Alert Hotline is your brace company. These specialized braces have been tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility and to learn how to use your private insurance or Medicare to minimize your out-of-pocket cost. Don't wait. If the deadline passes, you may lose your opportunity to get a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace at little or no cost to you.
800-238-4840. 800-238-4840. 800-238-4840. That's 800-238-4840.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Crazy J back again to tell you about Angel Wax. We've been telling you about it for a while now. This product is absolutely amazing. Our boy Tommy Davis, the man behind Angel Wax, he has been working hard for you. He has been on tour, he has been traveling, he's done car shows, he's done conventions. He is spreading the gospel of Angel Wax, and it's working. A lot of people are getting into it. They love it. Those car enthusiasts that are spending their weekends detailing it like crazy, love it. If you want to outshine the rest of the cars on the road, the best way to do that is by getting some Angel Wax. Let Tommy Davis know that RadioVegas.Rocks sent you to him to try this amazing product. Angel Wax, get in on it today.
Angel Wax. Wax those angels.
Yeah. Wax your angels.
So, it's Greasy Conversation on RadioVegas.Rocks. And we're about to talk about dinosaur mummy.
Yeah, mummified dinosaur. Yeah, this is legit, like, insane. It's a really one-of-a-kind discovery so far. They found, like, the most well-preserved dinosaur of all time. Like, it's not bones. They can't even see the skeleton because the outside of the dinosaur is preserved just almost perfectly.
Its armor, kind of like its skin, so to speak.
Yeah, I didn't catch what kind of dinosaur it was. I don't know if they say.
They do. It's actually a newly discovered type of dinosaur.
A nodosaur.
Yeah, it's one of those little fellows with a pointy nose. It looks kind of armadillo-y.
Oh, and it had did it have like one of the wacky tails where it could wreck shit with the tail? I don't know if they show that.
I'm not sure about that part, but its
okay.
face comes into like a triangle situation. So
Yeah.
they're triangle face fellas.
Okay, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those short, stocky, armored guys.
Yeah, little
Cool.
tiny face.
Herbivore, yeah, all right. But still cool, but just...
Not a bird-looking one.
No. This is old school, man.
This is a real dinosaur-y looking one. Spikes on its neck.
Yeah, it's one of the... And there's a few different types like that look like armored, and they have sharp spikes all over their body. But yeah, it's freaking dope. They don't yet know how it was preserved as well as it was. And this was actually first discovered in 2011 by a crude oil mine worker. And it's taken researchers 7,000 hours over the course of 6 years to test the remains and prepare them for display at the Royal Tyrrell Museum.
Man, that's clean this thing. Oh, it's gonna be so hard. Man, it looks like it's when you put the taxidermied.
Yeah, it's, man, just mind-blowing.
Excuse me.
Just dinosaurs are so badass, man. That was like the coolest shit when I was a kid. I was obsessed with fucking dinosaurs. Man. Yeah, this thing is just gnarly, man.
I mean, the fuzz on him and stuff. The little wrinkles and ripples in this thing. Whoa, it's got a hide. It's a dinosaur.
Yeah, so for
hide.
anyone just listening and wants to check it out, you can probably just Google Nodosaur, Nodosaur, dinosaur mummy, and you'll catch an article about it. But it's really cool. I do suggest checking it out. It's just...
Or the link in our show notes.
Yeah.
But it's like nothing you've ever seen before as a thing. It's hard to even talk about it. Like,
yeah, it is legit one of a kind, and we've never seen a dinosaur. One of the interesting things, and I think this was an Ange scoop.
Likely.
But one of the interesting things, or interesting questions I would wonder, is if they could determine the actual color of the dinosaur's skin.
Yeah, because it's like calcium and stuff that replaced the skin. In this kind of mummy, it's not a lot of the molecules of its actual skin, but like a calcification kind of replacement-y situation.
Because that's one of the things we don't actually know anything about. And so any pictures of dinosaurs you've seen that are colored like brown or green or whatever, like we're just guessing because no one has any fucking idea. So that's, I mean, that seems like a simple thing. I'm like, oh yeah, what color was it?
I know. I'd want to know
like,
that.
They're like, oh, this is a perfectly preserved dinosaur. Yeah, what color is it? That's all. That's all I want to know.
I've got a sick segue.
Yeah, go
we
for
can
it.
celebrate a segue together. Ancient tree. Another super ancient find has been found, and this tree, which you see here, is about as wide as a truck is long, and like an apartment building long tree situation. Okay, I need to get to why this tree is special. This tree was around during a magnetic pole reversal. Not a full reversal, but a situation where the Earth's magnetic field wandered so far sideways that it almost switched places with north on the bottom. And this tree has a record of it in its like tree body.
Yeah. So
Not
I
the
don't
best
know.
Pictures.
Yeah, I mean, it looks gnarly. I wish we could see like the tree rings. I don't know. And because there's always like, there was, it feels like kind of a doomsday scare a while back. It seems like maybe it was like 5-10 years ago when people were talking about the magnetic pole reversal that could just disrupt everything on planet Earth. And like,
Yeah, because if you're not aware, the magnetic field blocks electromagnetic radiation from the sun, specifically stuff that can, like an EMF kind of pulse that can burn out transistors and break a lot of our satellites.
Or like solar flares and shit. Like,
yeah, it's in that solar flare kind of yeah. So we would lose a lot of satellites. There would be physical damage to electronics on Earth if we had a magnetic field reversal, and we're creepily overdue. We don't know why, but reversals were happening every 200 to 300,000 years, but the last one was apparently 780,000 years ago. So we're like 2 or 3 times overdue.
Yeah. That seems odd.
I've been talking
maybe
about the skin
like,
on this tree is so cool looking.
Maybe we missed one. Maybe we just don't know that one happened.
Maybe we had
recently.
2 little ones.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Because we missed 2, it seems like.
But then again, like we might not know shit. Again, it could be one of those things where we don't know shit.
Hundreds of years ago, we might have no idea. It did that
maybe that was a period where like there were magnetic pole reversals that often, and then like that isn't actually the norm.
Well, there's evidence left behind in rocks and stuff like this tree that maybe we just haven't discovered anything yet that has a record. But I would assume since we've discovered this clear pattern of 200,000 or 300,000 years between them, that there's ways to just like catch everyone that we caught.
Yeah, there probably is. Yeah.
If there's magnetic field evidence through that set of 780,000 years that's recorded as not flipping, then we're like, well, shoot, we recorded it definitely not flipping, and we're overdue. So it's something we've got to prepare for. Get a bunch of bottled water.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna do it, bro. Because they're talking like the magnetic field like protects us from like solar wind.
Everyone buy a bicycle.
That'll just like eat the ozone layer if there wasn't the magnetic field to like.
Oh, I forgot about that deal. I could peel some of that away.
So like, if it just like flips a certain way, just like the sun's just gonna like strip away the ozone layer and then we're fucked. So it doesn't matter.
So colonize Mars.
Yeah.
Is the bottom line there.
Oh, all right. This is kind of a weird one. All right, so.
Oh yeah.
This they took like an X-ray. I don't know what you would call an X-ray. Where you track those babies when they're still in the womb.
Oh, an ultrasound.
Ultrasound. That's what it is. Couldn't remember the word. All right, but they found these bones they're like residual bones, and they don't go through. No, they're hand muscles. Sorry, hand muscles.
Are they inside us?
Not now, but during development of a baby in the womb, there are these very lizard-like muscles that develop in the hand of the baby as it's developing, and then they just turn into our normal hand muscles. But it's just this evidence that like.
Part of the game is me trying to find this article.
Oh yeah. I don't remember what I said about it. I just say like random shit sometimes. Oh, intelligent design.
Okay, go on.
obviously. But yeah, because I got to shit on fucking religion every chance I get, because that's what I do. But
if you're into that, sorry. I think that we're in a way spiritual in some ways too, though.
Oh yeah.
I think there's I wouldn't shit on the value of community and spirituality, while also saying that, of course, most organized religions are
yeah, that's
healthy.
what I was thinking about that on the way over here, and I was like, I should make the distinction between like religious organizations and not personal religion. Like I don't have a problem with whatever anyone believes. Like I believe some weird shit at different parts of my life just because I feel like it. So, you know, who cares? Like as long, but when you have like massive organizations who affect like negative
and manipulate people with these
like that's
tendencies.
different.
Yeah,
but like your personal spirituality and religion, like have fun with it, man. Like I'm all for it. I'm all about it. Tell me about it.
We're sorry to derail.
Yeah,
that.
little, you know, whatever.
But these lizard bones that the babies
lizard
apparently
muscles.
have.
These lizard muscles that develop in human hands while we're developing in the womb, and then just go away. Like they're just what do you? They're not
vestigial.
Vestigial, yeah.
Not drinking today, yeah.
So that Waz has got one up on me. But yeah,
Kratom
they could just be like that.
Nuts though. I'm kratom so hard. I'm like 1% kratom in my body right now. Love it.
So and these are just like muscles we no longer need, but apparently just like pop up during the development of the embryo.
And these pictures are nuts. They look like flower petals floating
inside a hand, yeah.
Inside a baby hand with like, it looks like there's a beta fish in there.
Yeah, it could be a little beta fish, yeah, totally.
Swimming inside the baby.
Some little like little ladders and fires and shit going on, yeah.
Little chutes and ladders. Your kids got betas in them.
Your kids are lizard aliens. They're gonna be the next president.
Seriously, this is a trippy looking article. So, radio folks, I think my description was awesome though. You can
it was pretty spot on, yeah.
Not to toot my horn, I just want to say I feel like we're adding audio value too, as well. I want to support because I listen to this stuff. I don't end up looking at it much, and I still feel like I enjoy podcasts like H3 that do this a lot. But man, the shows going on in this station, can't sleep on them. 2 Clueless Dudes on after this. Another one of my favorites. Not just because I produce them, but I produce them because I love them.
It's true.
So that's a killer one. I recommend the schedules page has got a lot of cool folks going on. You too can have a podcast here too. We can work out a little deal and join us. It's a good time.
All right, before we do our last Billy Bob break.
Woo! It's destroying this episode. It's flying.
So this one, fucking R. Kelly, dude.
Oh no, more R. Kelly.
Yeah, so this time. All right.
How could he even do something?
Dude, R. Kelly's attorney filed a motion arguing for a release on bond in which he bemoaned the singer's visitation privileges that allow him to visit with only one of his girlfriends at a time. Bro. You're in prison for like multiple sex crime charges, dude. With like underage chicks.
Yeah, you should be like girlfriend disqualified at this point.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
You know what's delicious though? Is that while he's in jail, he can't read just because he never learned to read. So he can't do crap in there. It's so delicious.
No.
Yeah, he's
Legit.
illiterate. He's famously illiterate.
Wow.
He still has never gotten around to that. So we're supposed to pity him. It's like a pity card. I never learned to read.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if like you didn't.
Look, what kind of is that a role model? Like, oh yeah, this is a perfect person to adopt these wayfaring women.
Yeah, like if I might have some sympathy if like you had a troubled childhood and didn't start an underage sex cult. But,
yeah,
you know,
could have
whatever.
spent some of that time reading.
Yeah. Like how not to start an underage sex cult.
Oh man,
very popular book these days.
You know, he read some contracts and some stuff. He's reading. He's just like anti-read.
No, some people like want him and they'll just pretend to read. Like that's how you know those people because they always get the shitty deals because they didn't read the contract.
That's a funny pity card though when you're like that wealthy of a celebrity. Like, I'll feel bad for me because I still haven't learned how to read.
Yeah, I can't hire a fucking tutor. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
Okay, they're done.
Right? Just fucking get this.
Having an intellectual disability doesn't make it okay to make a rape cult.
Right? Exactly.
That's not an
right?
excuse.
I know, right? Oh, man. All right. And with that, it's time to pay them Billy Bob Thorns.
Hey everybody, it's Crazy Jay, and I want to tell you about ZipFizz. I know what you're thinking. Jay, you've been telling us about ZipFizz. Well, I have the brand new flavor right next to me, and I haven't tried it yet. So let's open it and give this a try. My bottle of water, shake that up. Now this is a brand new flavor, Mango Peach. I have not tried it. I'm looking forward to it. They have a wide variety of flavors. If you didn't know, they've got grape, fruit punch, orange cream, orange soda, iced tea, all fantastic. But let's give Mango Peach a try. Oh man, that is absolutely amazing. I'm a fan of all their flavors, but nothing like this. Oh man, that is absolutely delicious. Mango Peach, ZipFizz, get it today. Visit zipfizz.com, tell them Radio Vegas, tell them Crazy Jay sent you, and get your Mango Peach today.
ZipFizz energy, no sudden crash, 10 calorie, low carb, vitamin B, the healthy energy mix. ZipFizz.
At Albo Pizza, our mission is to bring a menu of savory Italian classics and tasty American fare to the city of Las Vegas. Combining a classic menu of Italian favorites and American fare, Albo Pizza was designed with a variety of palates in mind. United by fresh ingredients prepared daily, all our recipes are homemade, hand-tossed, and hard to resist. Explore their popular pizza offerings or branch out with our burgers and chicken wings. Whichever way you go, their menu is prepared to please. Located at 1510 South Las Vegas Boulevard next to Dino's. Visit them online at www.albopizzalv.com or find them on Facebook. For delivery, call 702-333-2526.
Do you want to pay more for a new car or new home or less? Yeah! Do you want to pay higher interest rates on your credit cards or even to refinance student loan debt or less? Yeah! The secret to paying less on everything is a better credit score. Is your credit score less than 700? Do you even know? Well, now at the same time, you can learn exactly what your credit score is and learn how to make it better. And when you call our special credit repair hotline, you'll speak to an expert that will tell you simple steps to start improving your credit score. And the call and consultation are FREE. That's free. I'm telling you, the secret to paying less is a better credit score, and you can fix it right now. So please make this free call and change your life.
877-857-1658. 877-857-1658. That's 877-857-1658.
Another night of drinking, and I'm feeling so low. Another night of drinking, I got no get up and go. Maybe I drank too much whiskey, beer, and such. Need a little shot of Hangover Joe's. Now you see me moving and my feet ain't dragging the floor. Feeling pretty good and my head ain't pounding no more. Happens all the time, and the only thing saving my life is a little red and yellow shot called Hangover Joe's. Hey folks, this is Ken from the Altogether's. We tend to drink a lot at our shows. Actually, we drink a lot everywhere. Hell, I'm drunk right now. Sometimes I get tanked just so I can drink Hangover Joe's. Now, while you should drink responsibly, things do tend to get out of hand from time to time, and that's why you should get Hangover Joe's right now while you're sober. Now, if you excuse me, I got a song to finish, so I can go get drunk. Happens all the time, and the only thing saving my life is a little red and yellow shot called Hangover Joe's. shot called Hangover Joe's.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.Rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.Rocks shows, plus podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.Rocks app.
And we're back. It's Greasy Conversation. Clamp it together. Screw it in. Pull the lever. It's a Greasy Conversation on Radio Vegas Rocks. And we're back. We've got a hilarious one to pop back in right now.
Actually, that's the one. I don't know. Do you have that up?
I have it up. This is a person
Go for it.
that
I didn't find it.
A woman having a panic attack went to the ER and was prepped for trauma after doctors thought her zombie makeup was real.
You just meant like you're just going out to like some Halloween or some like costume contest party at like a bar or something and just have a panic attack, and then next thing you know you're about to get like cracked open on the fucking operating table. They're like, oh shit, what, we don't even know what this is. What the fuck?
Kudos to the person that did the makeup, because it looks like her face got scraped off.
Yeah, she had like the bottom half of her, it looked like the skin was peeled off the bottom half of her mouth or some shit.
Yeah, the top of the nose down, and like the whole mouth and chin is like made out like exposed bone.
Yeah, it was good makeup. So
professional dancer is taking part in a glam gore photo shoot. So I feel like she didn't totally put herself in this at like a party or something. She was at work. I can relate to panic attacks at work.
Yeah, who can't?
Yeah. Oh man. So extra sympathy for this situation.
And then like going in and being prepped, like, and you're already freaking out. Like, what the fuck are you gonna try to tell them when you're already freaked out and you can't really? You're probably not like calm and can't explain yourself well, and they're like prepping you for surgery for God knows what. And you're like,
yeah,
and it's just gonna like exacerbate the situation because they aren't even like thinking about that.
My first experience with like not knowing what anxiety was and having probably the worst panic attack I've ever had, because it was like the first one that I understood. A couple friends took me to the ER and I couldn't talk. I could only like talk enough to ask them to take me to the ER because I didn't like know what was going on.
Yeah.
I was just like locked in this panic place. So
damn. Yeah, that shit's real, man, and like it's a physiological response. It's not like a mental thing you control.
But mental things can help you control it, just as you can change your body mechanics to function differently with an injury. Mm-hmm. You can change the way you process data so that even when emotions pop up, you put things in a different category. You play tricks on your head, and then it turns into like training. You just frame things differently and see the world differently. And like the way I saw, like perceived reality with my dad being schizophrenic and thinking that there was like satellites beaming stuff into his head. And this is the person I got all my tech skills from too. Oh, so his explanations were really plausible. He talked about boundary layer conversion, where you have this boundary layer of air that's vibrated by radio frequencies at audio wavelengths, which it doesn't work, but I mean, it sounds really plausible, and maybe it does. Like he worked out some stuff with it. Like maybe Sony could totally make some speakers that work this way, but it wasn't how people were putting messages into his head.
Yeah.
But people didn't believe him naturally, and as like a teenager, like I felt like I was the only one that believed him. And it was just like a spiral.
No, hold up, because like Philip K. Dick, like that was his whole thing. He had like a revelation at one point where he said he had like a message beamed into his mind by this pink laser from this, he called it VALIS. It was the Vast Active Living Intelligence System. That was like this thing that just permeated the universe, and it beamed the secrets of reality into his mind. And that's like Philip K. Dick was, I mean, on one for sure. But he wrote this, like, they finally released it. It was like this 8,000 page journal that he kept for like most of his life, dude. And just talking about nutty stuff. I've read some excerpts, but it's interesting that like that similar idea is found. And he was like I don't know if he was ever diagnosed to be schizophrenic, but I'm sure he was. He suspected himself to be schizophrenic. So
Yeah, it started out with him understanding it, and he could put an idea in his subconscious, and then he'd hear a human voice say that idea back to him. It was like a new thought being spoken to him. So he knew it was like a crosswire thing like that. And this was also from quitting drinking, because he would just have like a rum and coke like every day and not like get drunk, but it was part of his like chemical system. So that came on trying to get away from that, because there was like he needed to. He wasn't like balanced like emotionally without getting the alcohol out of the way. But then he had problems with psych meds that gave him like Parkinson's kind of symptoms. It didn't really like give things enough try or dosing, because meth worked so well. The voices would totally go away with that.
Yeah.
Not that there aren't obvious pharmaceutical alternatives like Adderall, for example, that's like way smoother and more reliable.
Yeah, like cleaner. Yeah.
If you're going to use an amphetamine for that purpose.
Yeah.
Way cleaner, because of course it turned into a paranoid thing. And then he started working it into his previous career in aerospace, because he was like not like a rocket scientist as much as someone that made test equipment for rockets. I guess that's totally a rocket scientist. But I don't want to like just overly aggrandize that thing that's really cool about him just because he's my dad. Realistically, that also meant that he had crazy stories about someone like moving their thumb in front of a microwave dish, a communications dish that was strong enough that like later, it was a radar antenna. A cooked ball of meat rose to the surface of their thumb after they did that. And my dad was working on one of those while it was on, and someone ran up through this like hatch or whatever and was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, why would I not be okay?" He's like, "Oh, we accidentally had that on." And he had like a burnt dot on his eye forever from like the side of his eye being in front of this dish thing. So there was these plausible things that he dealt with like as a civilian in like military stuff, some of which was like classified at the time, and just things that like that was part of getting on some list of people to fuck with, putting the voices in their head. So it's like such a plausible set of circumstances they put him down. It's verifiable that he is like a Bob Lazar.
Yeah, totally.
Except Bob Lazar is pulling from like pop culture and talks about science that like, oh, it's so a layman, it might be amazing they predicted this element that we're going to predict anyway because it's just next in the number of protons. We just find something with one more proton or synthesize it and we found it. But it's unstable and can't exist as like a solid without like a
it can't exist like for more than just like being like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, then it collapses immediately. So you can't build stuff out of it. It'd be ridiculously heavy and impractical anyway.
Yeah.
So just a bunch of stuff, and he always sticks to one small narrative. It doesn't branch away from it.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I couldn't listen to the Bob Lazar interview at all, just because I knew I was gonna get frustrated.
Yeah, I only liked the documentary on Netflix because Mickey Rourke did the narration.
Really?
And there was this really bizarre like music, and just Mickey Rourke is talking about this like nutty shit, and I'm like,
yeah,
dude.
And they show pictures of other really discredited, lame stuff on the screen,
and yeah, or it's like it was just interesting because they're talking about like FBI raids and stuff, and like Bob Lazar constantly gets raided by the FBI and shit. You know, it's like it was cool, but I would just watch it for like the Mickey Rourke narration, like and the weird music. But all right, I guess that I did want to this other point about like schizophrenia is like they're now discovering that it's like the kind of manifestations are cultural.
Always.
To where like dependent like in America, like most of the manifestations are usually negative, and are usually like people either like being mean or like scary or chasing you, paranoia. But in other cultures, like schizophrenia just manifests as like pleasant, just like
there's something I
shamans
forgot about,
or like spirit animals or so, or you know, like
so foreign in the West where we've so stigmatized like mental health and hallucinations as being like a nightmare thing, when there are people that functionally live with hallucinations and are like happy schizophrenics. In other countries. I just can't wrap my head around that in the West at all.
It's bizarre, and it really got like our
visitations, visualizations.
Yeah, like our culture is pretty like dark, man. Like, and I think it's good to like recognize that and try to like I'm a pretty dark person too, but I try to like cheer up once in a while, you know? You know what I'm saying? Once a month, you got to have one good day. That's all I'm saying.
Just allow it for yourself.
Yeah, just give yourself permission one good day.
Yeah.
It's not all bad.
And look, we're having a lot of fun, even with the confusion of how a lot of things can work out fine. A lot of things can still feel miserable and scary and weird.
Right. And I think like a lot of it has to do with just like we're inundated with all, I mean, marketing is designed to tell you that like, I mean, when it, you know, you're not good enough unless you have this stuff, you know? It's like, you got to have all the newest stuff to be cool or whatever.
You have a
know?
problem. This fixes it.
Yeah, exactly. And like marketing, that's just how marketing is. And so like you just get inundated with that stuff like all fucking day, everywhere you go. And it hits you subconsciously. And you can't really, you have to like make an effort to work around it. Like it's not just.
It's sanity is work.
Yeah, it is legit, dude.
Insanity is just entropy and like an inevitable state if you don't like work on yourself. And there's such a difference in people that care about at least a moderate amount of perpetual self-improvement.
Right? Like legit. Like I'll talk about it because I'm all for like ending the stigma of like mental health or whatever. But like I've been seeing a therapist for a while about depression and stuff, and like I have to like every day like I listen to like positive affirmations and I meditate and shit just to like feel normal.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel normal without doing that.
But
And,
how unnormal do people that appear normal have to deal with feeling under the surface?
Right.
How many people are
that you don't know?
Yeah.
Right.
That seem to have it together, that are suffering from things that we might openly appear to be less together and surviving better. And that openness, I think, is helping the survival because you can compare notes then. You can learn about things like TM, Transcendental Meditation, which like, I feel like it's transcendental meditation has a complicated word for something that at the surface or at least at a beginner level is really easy to get into. Like you can just focus on your breath and just focus on your breath and you're like doing TM on the basic level.
Yeah.
It's super valuable like all of a sudden, right?
And I wouldn't even like throw the transcendental word in there.
I know.
Just
it
like
messes it up.
meditation. Yeah.
That feels like as far as I take it. I feel like I still meditate on like a super noob level and it's like I feel like I'm doing it great.
It's still beneficial.
Yeah.
Even like 5 minutes a day is really good for your mental health. And like try it for a month, man. Like try 5 minutes a day for a month. And like there's YouTube videos you can look up 5-minute meditations. Like
I really like to take moments when I'm stuck waiting for something anyway that I might otherwise be just frustrated that it's too short amount of time to start doing something I want to do, but too long to want to put up with it. Several minutes, for example.
Yeah.
Just say maybe this is a good time to just go input only. That's my favorite mantra that I kind of discovered from a whole trip, mushrooms, before I understood about meditation really beyond just like peripherally surface hearing about it as the concept. And so I'll tell myself input only and just try to receive only input and not output and not organize the input into any thoughts or create anything from it, just receive input. So that's like a fun
yeah, and that's like body scans, which is like a part of meditation too.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Where you just like you just start it like it's like focus on the soles of your feet, move up your legs, and then move up your body and just focus on these different areas of your body, and that helps you get in a mindful state. So
I haven't done that in a while. I totally forgot it was a thing, but when I did, it was super relaxing.
Yeah, it is.
Especially when I had a stimulant addiction.
Even like legit just doing this breathing pattern, right? Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath and just like, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. Hold your breath for 4 seconds and then breathe out through your mouth for 6 seconds. Just do that like 10 times. And just like the amount of oxygen you get, which is not the normal amount of oxygen you get, is enough to just be like, whoa,
Yeah.
Like, this is what oxygen does. All right.
Another one of my favorite ones that's like that is you pretend to inflate yourself and deflate yourself.
Yeah.
And totally focus on inflating as much as possible. And also you tense up too, just intuitively, and then try to deflate as much as you can.
Which relaxes you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like
Yeah.
a couple of those. Another one I like is to count to 1. We try to do it slowly and just keep counting to 1.
Yeah.
And yeah. That was one I heard from Ange.
My favorite one was and this will be the last one for the last news chug. Is Buddha actually had this exercise called the Perfect 10, which is where you're supposed to meditate and do 10 breaths like that exercise, in 4, hold 4, out 6. But you do that 10 times without thinking about anything. Which makes it impossible, because how are you going to count to 10?
Yeah, I've heard about this like
anything?
Legendarily.
And it's
like
just
hard
like,
to
it's
do.
one of those like like a Zen cone that's like, what's the sound of one hand clapping or something that like doesn't make sense. And you're like, what? It's just supposed to like
It takes you out. Anytime you can pull yourself out of a thought loop.
Yeah,
Because it's
exactly.
loops really get, and it's like when you're in a thought loop, it's hard to detect that you're in a thought loop until like someone points it out or something. So if you can even just detect when you're caught in a thought loop, which is someone once said that if you're angry at something for more than 15 minutes, it's because there's a narrative, there's a story that you've retold yourself within those 15 minutes. So if you can pull out that loop and not retell the story that's affecting your emotions, then it becomes a waiting game to get over anything emotionally.
Yeah.
And so if you can endure and not reactivate an emotional state for 15 minutes, chances are you can leave that emotional state finally.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's 20 for me because
might even be 25.
When you're fatter, your metabolism is slower.
Your emotional metabolism.
Yeah. Processing chemicals and stuff.
Dude, my emotional metabolism. That's great.
So it's not the fastest.
That's hilarious. All right, we'll do a real quick news chug. You could probably dive in deeper to these.
So much to dive in.
In the
Hop
notes. But this was a cool study. But it's when people close to us behave immorally, we're more inclined to protect them, even if they're really gnarly crimes. Like, you would be more willing to cover up something of a close family or a close friend, a romantic partner, even if it's really, really fucking bad. And especially like low severity. Like, man, I'm sure we talk about shit all the time that like wouldn't want to tell the police. You know what I'm saying?
Allegedly.
I mean, allegedly. Yeah, we're not fucking criminals.
Yeah, you put it as that's kind of a no shit. Like, yeah, of course people cover up.
I think I meant that for another one.
Oh no, you're right. This is the.
Yeah, so this man.
We bumped into this a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so this is being happier will help you live longer, and I'm like, oh no shit, of course. But I saw this, and the reason I picked this article out is because I saw this YouTube ad because of my last job, and I was doing a lot of like research, and it was all this like entrepreneurial business assistance type stuff, like life coach type stuff, get jumpstart your business how you really want and live the life of your dreams. It's all that type of shit. And like I saw this one, and it was talking about, do you want to know what the happiest people in life do? These are the 10 things. And I'm like, oh, I bet they all have fucking money. Like,
Yeah.
I get that. I bet that's the first fucking thing that that you're going to tell me all these people have. And
Yeah, if you can just check that box, I don't think it just leads to people lying around lazy and not doing stuff with their lives. Because when people have the ability to just survive, like any classic village would take care of its lowliest people throughout time until this latest industrial revolution and this latest wave of abandoning people in our communities and losing a sense of community. If that can be done, then I really think that that's a good compromise, and that people need to get away from this mindset that people are just going to waste away and be lazy and lack ambition. Of course, if you make them rich, of course they're going to lack ambition, especially if they're young, because you get spoiled. But you can't. It's hard to spoil an old person by just giving them their basic needs, let alone like any adult. Just cover those needs, and they're going to have ambition to want more than that.
And
Who
I
settles?
have a counterpoint to that, and I say that the people who are not going to be ambitious are not going to be ambitious regardless.
Yeah. So you might as well give them their basic needs to keep them out of the ER.
Yeah.
So it solves that in that way too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not talking about making these people have like a comfortable middle class wage. We're talking about just getting them off the street.
Right.
Like
You know what I mean?
even Andrew Yang's
UBI, Universal Basic Income.
It's what he's planning. What was it, $1,000 a month?
$1,000 a month.
Yeah, like no one's gonna just settle for that.
No.
But it'll keep a roof under your head.
Exactly.
Especially because it'll open up a whole economy of people helping these people access it. Because a lot of these people they're stuck in the street because they're not mentally capable of taking advantage of the resources that are already there.
Yeah.
So there'd be a whole like factor of people like building homes, social workers that can live off a tiny part of that 1,000 from a bunch of people that they help access it in the first place.
Yeah.
Like I'll help you get it. I'll help you budget it and spend it on a home. I'll manage it for you so you get food in this place and you don't have to worry about forgetting your bills because you're not present consciously.
Right.
So you get some goes to these. The whole economy can form making that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
it would be a
doesn't have
benefit
to
to the because the money's going back. It's not like
yeah, it's privatized. It's not a government thing. If you're all sure government's going to waste the money, this is private enterprise.
yeah,
that
like
can do
you're
that.
giving when you give money to poor people, they spend it.
Yeah.
And it goes right back into the economy.
And it goes into private industry. So this is super capitalist in how this
I
works
know.
too. It's really capitalism compatible.
Yeah.
So it really should be bipartisan. And I really want to see some people get it on that level.
But people have a disconnect because you say you're giving people $1,000 a month and they're like, oh, you're just going to give people free money. Well, no, we're reallocating our tax dollars.
Yeah, it's money this country
different
made.
way.
This country made a crap load of money.
Yeah.
It's always done that. It's really economically well. And a lot of other countries that have made done as well, not even as well, have hooked up their citizens with more. So
Yeah.
we deserve it. We're paying for it. It's our
I
taxes
know.
coming back to us, and everyone gets it. Everyone can spend that extra
Right.
grand.
But let's keep fighting wars in the desert.
Yeah, and there's arguments to this in ways that it can be balanced out, and I accept
totally.
those.
Yeah.
Holler 'em in the chats. I don't want you to feel
I'm not
alienated.
saying it's
by
not the only
saying,
way.
Yeah,
Not at all.
We're dumb and we're ready to be wrong.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be hella wrong into next.
All day, every day.
Next season, next episode, it's really the same season, but it's a new cusp, a new time. Catch us at 8, 9, Saturday 9 live. Okay. Saturday 9 live.
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday 9 live. See you then. This has been Greasy Conversation. And we're out. Bye.